Hi, everybody. Welcome into the Wager Talk TV YouTube channel. I'm Tony Mejia from sportsmemo.com. Hope your week has started off well. And we're going to be talking a little MLB as the San Francisco Giants visit the Chicago Cubs for the second of a three-game set at Wrigley Field. Giants won the opener, and we can start talking wild card in the National League without saying that it's a little too early. Approaching the halfway point of the season, and the Giants are 36-37, while the Cubs are 34-39. So currently, the Giants are percentage points ahead of the Washington Nationals for what would be the third and final wild card spot. This matchup is a pick'em, basically, minus 110, minus 110, minus 107, minus 103, depending on where you shop. But basically, this is one of those games that you can bet knowing that it's a toss-up according to odds makers, and the total is set at 9.5, and that is a tip that the wind is blowing out at Wrigley, and it is blowing out towards left field. That has a lot to do with our handicap today. Giants won 7-6 on Monday night to get off to a strong start on a road trip that will also take them into St. Louis. This is a big month for the Giants, who have survived a slew of injuries to be where they are currently residing at the number 3 wild card in the National League, with Blake Snell still fighting an uphill battle to get back, and really not giving them much, considering he had missed all of spring training upon signing with the Giants and then got injured shortly thereafter after being ineffective. So the best is yet to come from San Francisco, given all their injuries, and yet they are approaching getting back up to 500 if they can secure a victory over the Cubs today. Hector Neris blew another save as Thairo Estrada hit a 3-run homer in the ninth to give the Giants a victory in a game that was back and forth. I was on the Giants in the first 5 that won 1-0, thanks to a runner getting thrown out at the plate in the bottom of the 5th inning. So that was a first 5 winner for San Francisco, and that was a pick'em as well. It's been a disaster. If you know a Cubs fan, give them a hug, because they need one right now. Since last Tuesday, the Cubs have lost 2 of 3 in Tampa Bay. They gave up 4 in the ninth in one of those games, blew a 2-0 lead in the 7th in another. They were blanked 3-0 by the Cardinals, giving up runs in the 8th and 9th in the opener of that series. On Sunday, they lost to Miles Michaelis, left 8 on base and hit 2 for 10 with runners in scoring position. They're 12-23 entering Tuesday since May 6th. And the Cubs have just invented ways to lose. Either they lose them late or they lose them by squandering scoring opportunities. It started with Yu Darvish coming into Wrigley Field and pitching extremely well for the Padres, and they lost 2 of 3 to them, 2 of 3 in Atlanta. They lost 4 of 7 against Pittsburgh in a stretch. That was their only series that they've won on the road over the past 5 weeks, but then they lost 3 of 4 at Wrigley to continue to struggle. Lost a 2-game set in St. Louis, lost 3 or 4 at Milwaukee, lost 2 out of 3 against the Reds. Then they beat the White Sox in back-to-back walk-offs, and then lost 3 of 4 in Cincinnati to stunt any momentum that they could have gained from that. And that led into the Rays series I just mentioned. So really, it's been a disaster for Chicago. Adbert Alzolay was the closer originally to start the season. He blew a ton of saves. Then he ended up on the IL with a forearm injury. He'll be back in mid-July or August. So Craig Counsell says that Neris will be part of how they close out games and how they finish games, but certainly Mark Leiter Jr. Has had his issues. They've just really struggled in the pen. About the only consistent things that have happened for Chicago this season has been their starting pitching has been relatively good. Kyle Hendricks worked his way out of there, but for the most part, they've had some success with starters. Justin Steele, though, missed some time on the IL, and then has not won since he's come back, despite the fact that he's got some pretty strong numbers. He comes into this one 0-3 with a 3.22 ERA and a whip of 1.09 over 50 innings. He's got a 48-13 strikeout to walk ratio, and he has given up 6 home runs, which is another issue that we are counting in the Giants' favor, because his counterpart is a Logan Webb, who has only given up home runs this season, despite working 92 in the third innings. So out of the two, Steele and Webb, Webb is more likely to keep the ball in the ballpark against the Cubs today with the wind blowing out. That's one reason we like the Giants in addition to the bullpen. Webb comes in 6-5 with a 3.02 ERA, a 1.2 WHIP, and a 78-20 strikeout to walk ratio. So quality pitching matchup, but we don't want to go near the total given that the wind could really wreak havoc on both of these pitchers. We'll just have to see how it plays out, but the total is at 9.5 when if the wind was blowing in or normal, it would be in the 7 to 8 range. So we're going to stay away from the total, and we're going to ride the San Francisco Giants as a full game play. Again, this spread is about minus 110, minus 107 in that neighborhood, depending on where you shop. A player prop to really invest in, I think, is Elliot Ramos. He has been brilliant against left-handed pitching and faces the lefty in Steele, batting .328 on the season with 9 homers and 31 RBIs over the last 4 games. He has been dominant. He's got 3 homers, 2 doubles, batting 9 for 19 against lefties. He's 14-32 on the season. That's a .438 batting average, 5 home runs, 11 RBIs, 10 walks, on-base percentage of .568, cartoonish slugging percentage, and OPS against lefties. So he's somebody that we are going to want to target, and certainly he's been a winner for us on player props over the weekend. Ramos hits, runs, and RBIs is juiced at minus 155, but only 1.5. I like that. If you like total bases, his number is 1.5, and that pays out at a more conventional minus 105. That's where it's priced. And a home run from Ramos at Wrigley with the wind blowing out, probably worth an investment at plus 310. You can more than triple your investment on that. And look, the Giants, since a 6-game losing streak that followed them into June, that they finally snapped on the 5th in Phoenix, are 7-4 and looking to get back to 500 for the first time all month. They're currently, like I said, the 3rd wild card. So if they're able to continue their ascent by winning this series, and they can clinch it tonight against the Cubs, and faring well in St. Louis, they can head back to San Francisco where they'll face the Cubs again and close out the month against the Dodgers and really feel good about where they are at in their first season under Bob Melvin with a strong finish. As far as the Cubs, they're just looking to break out of this misery that they're in right now. Craig Counsell, things couldn't be going worse in his first season, and they are in a pack of 8-9 teams looking to finish as one of the bottom 2 wild cards. The Braves are currently sitting pretty behind the Phillies as the top wild card in the National League. The Cardinals are second, and these Giants are third. But like I said, there are 8 teams under 500 in the National League that have to say to themselves, we can hit that wild card. In fact, San Diego's Mike Shildt just said he expects the Padres to be there in October despite all their struggles. The Mets, thanks to their grimace-infused winning streak, are now back in the mix. So plenty to decide in the NL, and this series between the Giants and the Cubs will certainly go a long way in deciding what happens down the stretch, even though we haven't hit the All-Star break yet. The Cubs finished 83-79 last season, and the Giants were 79-83. And the difference between those 2 teams was the fact that the Cubs won 5 of 6 meetings. The Giants would love to reverse that trend and dominate Chicago. That would certainly go a long way in them making the playoffs this season as the wild card ahead of Chicago and other teams. I want to remind you to smash that like button and subscribe to all our videos here at Wager Talk TV. We've got site-wide specials on Wednesday at both Wager Talk and Sports Memo, where all packages are half price. So be sure to take advantage of that. You can also get the rest of June free by buying all of July. So plenty to look out for here going forward on the site. You can get a 3-day pass from me at $20 off by using coupon code TM30day. That's TM30DAY. Follow me on Twitter for free plays and all of my observations at Mejia Dinero, spelling down there below. You can also check out all of my packages and written free picks at sm.buzz/TDM. Again, please smash that like button and make sure you're subscribed to Wager Talk TV. Have a great, profitable Tuesday. I'm Tony Mejia. Thanks for watching.